With more.
Well, Jamie, tonight, opponents of the new law that would have granted in-state tuition to undocumented immigrants in Maryland declared victory, delivering tens of thousands of signatures to the Secretary of State in Annapolis. Now, to force a referendum on the so-called DREAM Act, those opponents needed to collect about 55,000 signatures from Maryland voters by tonight. They got nearly twice that many. ABC 2 News' Christian Schaefer here now with reaction for those who supported this DREAM Act.
Yeah, Kelly, you know, the state still needs to certify those signatures, but that overwhelming number really means it's unlikely that enough signatures would be thrown out to invalidate the result. In other words, it virtually guarantees that the DREAM Act will be put on hold at least until the election in November of 2012.
The drive to gather enough signatures to force a statewide referendum on the DREAM Act began immediately after the bill was passed. Now, the results of that drive are in.
The people of Maryland have spoken, and they're going to win on this petition drive, and they're going to win on this referendum in November of 2012.
Supporters of the referendum say more than 100,000 Maryland residents signed their petition, putting the DREAM Act in jeopardy.
Marylanders don't want it. They don't want this bill. They know it costs too much, and they also know that we need to enforce our immigration laws.
¿Cómo se siente? ¿Qué le parece?
It's an emotional defeat for Joyce Suarez of Baltimore County.
Some of these kids have 4.0 averages in school. They're smart. The only thing they needed is just a little bit of a hope.
Her family moved to the United States from Peru when she was 14. They were undocumented, but eventually gained U.S. citizenship, and Joyce graduated from Towson University's business school.
We want an opportunity to grow, to be better, and to help.
CASA of Maryland says in Baltimore City alone, there are dozens of undocumented students who would have benefited from the DREAM Act starting this fall, and many more around the state.
If this signatures hold up, and we're going to have to wait another year and a half to have a more educated workforce.
To receive in-state tuition, first at a community college, then at a four-year institution, children of undocumented immigrants would have to graduate from a Maryland high school, and their parents would have to have paid state taxes for 3 years. Joyce Suarez says the referendum amounts to a lost opportunity for children who she says haven't done anything wrong.
They are hurting right now. They feel that the hope has been gone.
The Board of Elections must certify that the supporters did indeed gather enough signatures by July 22nd, but once again, more than 100,000 collected statewide. Christian Schaefer, ABC 2 News.